Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that blade syntax. So now in this video, I want to discuss about one of the most interactive things as a controller. So before in our route area, I have passed that request, that means our return request with our this view. That means that is I loaded one of the view page, right? So now I want to manage it by the controller. So how can do that work? For doing this, we have to create one of the controller. So if you want to create one of the controller in Laravel, how can create it? I show you. Then you have to go to your project directory. So that is our project directory, and here right now I have already run our PHP Artisan serve. So I want to I add new one, and now if you open it, so that is our another command prompt, and here you can see that is our appropriate this file location, right? So here I want to create one of the controller. So if you want to create one of the controller, better I want to do a little bit big size, then it will be very much helpful to you. Okay, so here I want to create one of the controller. So to the controller, if you want to create it, then you have to write down as a PHP Artisan, and then make and the controller. And then I want to create one of the controller name as a contact controller for our contact page. So whatever the things you actually like, I name it as a contact controller. Okay, I name it as a contact controller. So that is our process that I make it as a capital contact and controller for the C as a capital. So if you don't want to use it, you can use it, but right now that is actually the standard way. So better practice to create it by the capital letter, and that is our controller capital letter. Okay friend, so that is the controller I want to create as a contact controller. So that is PHP Artisan make controller and the contact controller. So now if you click as a enter, now you can see it's now showing as a controller created successfully. When this controller actually created, you will get this controller. That means that is our contact controller I have created. If you go to your HTTP, that means in our app, into the HTTP, and there is a controller folder. Into the controller folder, here you can see friend. So that is the contact controller I have created. So that is by default the class as a contact controller. That means that is our contact controller, and then it's extended our one of the mother controller. That means Laravel mother controller. When you install that Laravel, we'll get by default one of the mother controller as a controller.php. So it's extended one of the mother controller as a this controller. Okay friends, so that is our controller. So we successfully created our controller. So now I want to update this part. Like if you go to our route, into the route, that is a web route, right? So into the web route, before we pass from here, that is our route, into the route, that is our route I have created, and into the functionality I pass that return view on of the control, that means our contact page. So that is our contact page, right? So into the view area I have created one of the contact page. So now I want to load our this page, that means this contact page via our this controller, that is a controller I have just created. So how can do that work? For doing this, before in Laravel 7, first of all I show that Laravel 7 functionalities, like I remove it. Okay, and first of all here you have to write down as a route, and then you have to use that get. As I told you friend, into the route there is a get method. So if you want to get some of the data, you have to use that get, right? So into the get, then you have to add your path name. So here I want to add one of the path name. So whatever you want. So right now I want to make it as again contact. Okay, that means that will be our route name. That means that's just same things. Actually, that is our this route. Okay, so right now I want to create another route as a contact, and after that I want to load our controller. That means that is actually controller. So here I want to create one of the method. Okay, so right now I show you, everything will be more clear to you. Like here, before we use that our controller name, and after that controller here you have to add that @ and then your method name, whatever the method you want to create in particular this controller area. Okay, so right now I will make it as as index. Okay, index. So that means this index method we have to create in our this appropriate our this controller area. Okay friend, and also make that sure you add that semicolon. So that is our column. So that is the index method we have to now create in our contact. That means our contact controller. Go to our contact controller. That means here. Okay, so here we have to create it. So if you want to create this method, that means that is our index method we have to create. I copy it. And if you want to create one of the method, then you have to write as a public. Okay, the public and then function. So that is a public function and then our method name. So I have already declared one of the method as index, right? So that is our controller, that is the contact controller. I have created this method, that is our index method. So that is our index method. So into the index method area, that is actually the format. Friend, that is very much important one of the part, because if you well understand that main basic core things, Laravel will be just like as a water. Okay, trust me. So that is the public function and that is our index method. And into the index method here right now I want to echo some of the value. So here I want to echo as a this is our contact page. Okay, contact page. So this type of one of the text I want to visible. So that is the format we used in Laravel 6 and the 7. Like right now if you want to access it, I just click as a save all. And that is our contact. So that is our URL. If you want to access it, I show you, then it should be actually show some of the error. I open it, click as the enter. Now you see friend, it's now showing as a target class contact controller does not exist. That means the process is not appropriate for the Laravel 8. So for the Laravel 8, if you go to that Laravel official website, if you go to that as a front end, that is a basic. Into the basic, if you go to that controllers, so into the controllers right now it's little bit different. So here you have to add your controller name first, and also here you have to update it. That means you can see that is actually you have to use that controller, and also that will be your new route. So I show you better, I copy it. Okay, I copy that route. So now I want to update it. Right now we are using Laravel 8, not the 7. So that is our 7 format, and now I paste it. So that is our Laravel 8 format. Okay, so into the 8 format, that will be the same as a route and the gate. And after that, I want to add our URL. So our URL will be as a contact. So that means the same. And after that, before there is our controller name. So right now I want to use that controller name with this like that format. They have the third bracket. And then you have to add your controller name and then the class, and after that class here you have to add that your method. Okay, so that is our index method. So now I want to use our this index method. So that is the 7 or 6 format, and that is our 8 format. So just the changes, Laravel is updated right now, so you have to update your route like that way. Okay friend, so right now we don't need this, I remove it from here. And also we are using that contact controllers, right? So here we have to also use it. So you can see it's also give that instruction, you have to use your controller name. So better I use it, I copy it. And after that, that is our controller name. That means in our app, that means that is our app, and then the HTTP, and then the controllers folder. Into the controllers folder, I have created our folder name, file name. That means our controller name as a contact controller, right? So that is our contact controller. So now I want to use it. So that is our contact controller. So that is our contact controller. I simply use it. Okay, friends. So that is our file extension as a app HTTP. App HTTP controllers and the contact controllers. That is our contact controllers. Perfect. So that's the things you have to do. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, so now it will be redirected to our contact controller index method. So that is our contact controller, and that is our index method. So and here I echo our one of the string value, and this is our contact page. Now let's check this out. If you now access our this contact, click as a save all, and now I want to refresh it. Yes, you can see friend, now it's perfectly working. So now it's display our contact. That means this is our contact page. I hope it's very much clear to you friends. So that is our Laravel new updated. So that is our for the Laravel 8. Okay, so into the index method, so into the index method area right now I am echo some of the string values. So here if you want to load some of the return value just like before, that is a return view, one of the view page, that is one of the view file you want to load, you can also load it. So here for doing this you have to return it, the same code as a return, and then view, and with the view area I want to load our contact page, right? So I have already created one of the page. So into the view area I have already created one of the contact page as a contact. So now I want to name it as a contact. So that's all you have to do. Okay, and after that make that sure you add that semicolon. So perfect. So now it should be redirected to particular that area. That means when you access this contact, it should be redirected to the contact controller index method. That means that is our contact controller, and that is our index method. Into the index method, it should be return view one of the page as a contact page. That means into the view, and that is our contact page will be loaded, right? So I have already created this page, so that is our contact page. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now if you, that is our same URL, refresh it, yes, you can see it's perfectly loaded our contact page. I hope friend it's very much clear to you how can working with this, that is how can control your all that URL by this controller, and how can load this controller to make that sure you add it. Okay, so right now that is actually some of the example note. So right now we don't need this, I remove it. Perfect. So that is our contact controller. Okay, so everything is now perfectly working. So that is our home. If you go to that our home is loaded. If you go to our controller, that means a contact. So now this data actually controlled by the controller, and also I have added another one as a about. So for the about, you can see it's also loaded that about. So it now comes from directly, that means from our here is now directly for the about, it's loaded our this return view. So in our next video, I want to discuss about that middleware. So how can create that middleware, how can put some of the privilegization with the middleware. In our next video, I will discuss about that things with you with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.